Here's President Trump yesterday en route to the border town of Alamo, Texas, expressing no regret for his comments 1 week ago ahead of the violent insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
What is your role in what happened at the Capitol? What is your personal responsibility?
So if you read my speech, and many people have done it, and I've seen it both in the papers and in the media, on television, it's been analyzed, and people thought that what I said was totally appropriate. Everybody to the T thought it was totally appropriate. The impeachment hoax is a continuation of the greatest and most vicious witch hunt in the history of our country, and is causing tremendous anger and division and pain, far greater than most people will ever understand, which is very dangerous for the USA, especially at this very tender time.
Yeah, that witch hunt that has expanded out, Mika. Now you have the editorial page of the Wall Street Journal that carried the president's water for much of the past 4 years, engaged in anti-Trumpism at an Olympian level, actually dismissed Donald Trump and everything regarding Russia and their interference in American democracy. And yet even the Wall Street Journal editorial page is saying that Donald Trump committed impeachable offenses. Mitch McConnell said Donald Trump has committed impeachable offenses. Liz Cheney is saying Donald Trump committed impeachable offenses. He lived. I mean, this is what happens to a liberal Democrat who spends his entire life contributing to Hillary Clinton and I mean, you name it. You just go down. You go down the list. Eliot Spitzer, Anthony Weiner. I mean, you go down the list. This is what happens when he thinks he can define what conservative is and what a rhino is. You know, it's just shocking to me. I thought Republicans would figure this out 4.5 years ago. It actually took him committing an insurrection against the United States government to figure it out.
Look, what's staggering to me is that you have to explain all that. I mean, there is no other place in America, not in a state government, not in a local government, not at any business, and God forbid this was a Democrat, where the person wouldn't be out 24 hours later, 25th. Jonathan Lemire, what is going on in the White House? How is it that he still continues as president after assaulting our democracy?
Well, Mika, this is an extraordinary moment in our history, and it's a president who is largely alone. You heard him yesterday. He played the clip there. He has showed no remorse for what happened last week at the Capitol. And remember, of course, he had to be really cajoled, convinced to make a video statement last week in which he finally condemned the violence. Remember, on Wednesday itself, he had no words of anger, no words to his supporters to stop, even as his own vice president's life was in danger. It was only when the White House counsel told him you could be legally vulnerable here that he finally was convinced to go out there and put a statement out, only to that night ask aides if he should be regretting it, if that was a mistake, because it would anger his base. There's real alarm here, even this very small circle of aides that remain around the president about what this means. And I know Joe likes to say that he's in favor of deathbed conversions. There's a limit to how much credit Mitch McConnell should be getting for turning on Trump here in the 11th hour. But by doing so, by signaling that he is happy with the Democrats' impeachment effort, that is a big deal and could provide a lot of cover to fellow Republicans. Same with Liz Cheney. Now, McConnell was, let's be clear, didn't necessarily suggest yet that he'd be willing to vote for removal from office. But even if it's being entertained, that does change the calculus among a lot of Republicans.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.